I found this amazing book called I Talk Like a River by Jordan Scott and Sydney Smith. I wanted to read the author's note first, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to read the book first and then read that at the end. And if you just want to end listening to the story, then that's fine. And then if you want to continue listening, you'll hear me reading the author's note. But I will tell you that this is a book about a boy who stutters. Stuttering as I stutter sometimes. Maybe we all do it. We get nervous, or we've just got this problem with our speech. Happens to all sorts of people. And this little boy learns to live with his stuttering. So it's the author actually was a stutterer, and he's learned to live with it. And perhaps you've heard that President Biden, the United States president, was a stutterer, and he learned to overcome that. Okay, I Talk Like a River by Jordan Scott and Sydney Smith. And I'm just going to double check when it was published. It's pretty new, 2020. Here we go. I wake up with the sounds of words each morning all around me. See? Sounds of words, lots of different things that are around him every day. P for the pine tree outside my bedroom window. C for the crow on its branches. M for the moon fading in the morning sky. I wake up each morning with the sounds of words all around me, and I can't say them all. There he is. The pine tree, the crow, and the moon in the sky, and all his little toys that he's got as he's looking out the window. The pea and pine tree grows roots inside my mouth and tangles my tongue. The C is a crow that sticks in the back of my throat. The moon, the M in moon, dusts my lips with a magic that makes me only mumble. There you can see the reflection of him looking out the window and the pine tree and the crow and the moon. I wake up in the morning with these word sounds stuck in my mouth. I stay quiet as a stone. I eat my oatmeal without a peep. I get ready for the day without a word. There he is, getting out of his bed. Seems a bit glum, brushing his teeth, not a word. Eating his oatmeal without a word. At school, I hide in the back of the class. I hope I don't have to talk. When my teacher asks me questions, all my classmates turn and look. There he is, hiding in the back of the class. Back here, there's a teacher there. They don't see a pine tree sticking out of my lips instead of a tongue. They don't hear a crow caw caw from inside my throat. They don't hide their eyes from the moonlight that shines from my open mouth. Sounds almost pretty dreadful, doesn't it? All they hear is how I don't talk like them. All they see is how strange my face looks, and that I can't hide how scared I am. My mouth isn't working. It's full of words of the morning. Look at him. I can't quite figure out what's going on here. Beautiful illustrations. Mornings are always hard, but this one's especially tough. I'm more stuck than ever. My teacher says we all have to talk about our favorite place in the world. Today is my turn, but my mouth just isn't working, and I want to go home. My dad picks me up from school. It's just a bad speech day, he says. Let's go somewhere quiet. There he is, looking kind of sad over here, and His dad picks him up in the truck. Let's go somewhere quiet. My dad takes me to the river. We walk along the shore looking for colorful rocks and water bugs. That's always fun, isn't it? With that beautiful river scene. Little boy and his dad walking along the river. You see some duck there. Beautiful. It feels good to be quiet and alone with my dad. But I just can't stop thinking about my bad speech day. All those eyes watching my lips twist and twirl. All those mouths giggling and laughing at me. But he's with his dad there by the river. So beautiful by the river. But this is the way he feels, all swirling like the river. I feel a storm in my belly. My eyes fill with rain. So sad. See the storm up here in the sky. My dad sees I am sad and pulls me close. He points to the river and says, "See how that water moves? That's how you speak." I look at the water. He might be confused. I don't know. His dad's so sweet, putting his arm around him. Bubbling, churning, whirling, and crashing. That's the river. He's thinking about that. Boy, this is a fun one. Okay. See, there he is looking at the river. But just you wait. My dad says that I talk like a river. Looks like he's going in for a little swim in that river. Beautiful, big, wide, fold out pages here. Close it back up. This is what I like to remember. To help stop myself from crying, I talk like a river. Or from not wanting to speak at all, I talk like a river. There he is swimming in the river, swirling around. When the words around me are hard to say, I think of that proud river, whirling, bubbling, churning, and crashing. He looks like he's a good swimmer too, doesn't he? And I also think of the calm river beyond the rapids, where the water is smooth and glistening. This is how my mouth moves. This is how I speak. Even the river stutters like I do. He's going for a nice long swim in that nice calm area beyond the rapids. I wake up in the morning and the sounds of words are all around me. I go to school and I tell the class about my favorite place in the world. I talk about the river. There he is, getting up in the morning, getting dressed, probably having his oatmeal, remember? And he's in the front of the class telling them that I talk about the river. And I talk like a river. So that's the end of this beautiful story. And maybe you have a stuttering problem. Maybe you've got a friend who stutters. You know somebody, a parent, a cousin, a grandmother. And I'm just going to read a little bit of this author's comment about this story. How I speak, it says. When I was a boy, my dad would sometimes pick me up from school on bad speech days and take me down to the river. On those days, my mouth would stop working. Every word was painful. The laughter from the classmates unbearable. I just wanted to be quiet. Along the river, we skipped stones, watched for salmon, picked up bugs, and plucked blackberries, all without saying a word. One particular day, while watching the water move against the shore, my dad said, "You see how that water moves, son? That's how you speak." Stuttering is often mocked because it seems as unnatural. For many, listening to and watching someone stutter is an uncomfortable experience because language and sound are stretched to their limits. Strange noises burst from a contorting mouth, and what the listener thinks of it as fluency or normal speech explodes. To stutter is to be dysfluent, and fluency, my speech therapist used to say, is the ultimate goal. But at the river, I learned to think differently about fluency. The river was like a mouth, a confluence, a flow. The river is as natural and patient form, forever making its way towards something greater than itself. Yet as the river moves, it stutters, as I do too. There's a few more paragraphs here, but I'll stop there. So just a beautiful book about a subject that you don't actually hear very much about, especially in a children's book with so beautiful illustrations and this totally cute little boy with his beautiful little freckles on his face. Okay, I hope that you like that, and maybe you can find that at your local library or at your bookstore. All right, bye for now.